Hi everyone, my name is Chandra. I am your host. I am the Community and Marketing Coordinator of MindsDB. With me today is Alejandro Cantu, who will be doing a presentation and a demo of Anton. So excited to have everyone here with us. Please note that at the bottom of your screen, there is a Q&A tab. If you have any questions, feel free to post it in there. We will be answering questions after the presentation and demo has been done. And we also have Martina with us as well, who will be joining Alejandro with doing the presentation and demo. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to give over to Alejandro. In the meantime, feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat and let us know what you do for a living and what use case you would like to solve with AI. Go ahead, Alejandro. Alejandro, you are still muted.
All right, the classic, you're on mute. Thanks everybody.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you can see my screen and everything's
Yes, we
going
can.
well. Awesome. All right. Thanks everybody. As Jenna said, I'm Alejandro Canto, product manager here at MindCB, and today we're going to talk a little bit about MindCB and Anton. So let's get started. The first thing is we're going to talk a little bit about updates of MindSDB. So maybe Martina, you can give us a quick update of what has happened with our newest release, version 26.1.
Certainly. Hi, everyone. So this week we've released a uh, quite massive MindDB release v26.1.0. And one of the main features we are introducing is revamped MCP API. So we have been aligning with the latest updates and standards. So MCP API is back in MindDB. Next, regarding the integrations, we, as you may know, we had two groups of integrations. One group is verified, means MindsDB team verified integrations. Another ones were community contributed integrations, which sometimes did not have like full feature coverage. So we have decided to move all the community integrations into a separate repository. And this does not change anything. You just need to set up an environment variable like you see here, and you will be able to use the community handlers as before. And once we are verifying them, those will be moved back into the MindDB repository. Further, on the KBs front, we have added DuckDB vector store as one of the default storage engines for knowledge bases. So these are the main updates. Besides that, we've fixed miscellaneous bugs. We've made some improvements to existing integrations. And also a big part of this release was addressing the CVEs and vulnerabilities within MindsDB. So go and try it out and enjoy it. Thank you. Back to you, Alain.
Thanks. All right. So that's a bit of our MindTV updates, and I just want to go back to Anton. And I want to start talking again about Anton. So you probably heard about this. If not, like I'm so happy to be able to talk to you about this. Anton is our open source autonomous agent that we have built in MindDB. And it follows again, we're something that we're very proud of. But the main thing that we really want to do is like that is the way how Anton is able to find the answer inside different data sources or different components that we might talk to it. And the really way the really it does is like it's just the way that it really works. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into it, but just want to make sure that everybody knows that Anton is really cool. And before we really go into details, like the reason why we came up to Anton and we've been doing a lot of this with MindDB is like what we want is just to be able to ask questions and we want to be able to get answers that read that contain the data that we need that actually looks into this. So Anton really works like this. Like it's an analyst that's able to read the data, writes code, runs it, and explains what it found. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into it. And this is our, what I was mentioning, our autonomous open source agent. So what makes Anton really different, right? And as I said, like the way it really does is like it helps with really finding the right answer. And how it works is like it has these five different steps into it. So we're just gonna go really quick over it, but like give you an idea of how Anton works on the back end. First, you ask the question. Then the first step is that Anton is going to start planning like what are the things that I need to do to be able to get to this answer. Do I need to search the web? Do I need to go into a data source? Do I already have this answer in my memory? Like it really goes down and plans like what are the different steps that needs to happen to be able to go and find an answer. Then the next step really is where it codes. And it's going to go thinking, all right, like I need to be able to find this answer, like I need to build a SQL query or I got to build this Python code and it starts working on that one. And the really cool thing about Anton is how it executes this code. So we have these things called scratch paths that I'm going to go a little bit deeper in a second. But in the end, these are containerized environments that Anton can use to run and execute code in a safe, complete manner. Once it gets the answer, it will deliver. And like once you go to deliver, it really goes a little bit more about beyond that. Like you can ask him to do dashboards, which you're going to be talking about. You can do charts. You can really work in a really cool way to be able to get Anton to deliver and give you the answer that you're looking for. One of the cool thing about this, right, is like every step is auditable. So you can really make sure where all this data is coming from. What's the SQL query? How do we be able to get it to? And you can just ask Anton to tell you exactly how he got to that answer. So let's go deeper into the Scratchpad, which is the coolest thing about Anton. So the Scratchpad, as mentioned, is Anton execution environment. So in one of the previous steps, like it's going to plan, it's going to do this code, but to be able to run this code, you have to have an environment. So in this environment, Anton will be able to run real SQL and Python codes. We'll be able to iterate on the code, might get an error, give it a try back, all in this secure environment that works in well. One of the cool things about this is like, of course, a state persists across steps, so context carries forward. So you can have variables that were run on previous scratch pads and have like that information run into a newer scratch pad. So in that way, it actually amplifies the previous steps that were happening on the back end. So really cool stuff to be able to make sure that you can get to that answer in that iterative manner. Another really kind of cool thing about Anton is the memory system. So the way that Anton memories work is like that. It not only it has two ways to remember stuff. Like one is it'll do it automatically. So it will start learning how do you work, what are your things that you like, or like what's inside a data source, different tips and tricks that you were able to deduct while you were working with them. So past sessions and lessons learned live like there automatically. You can also go back to another episode or another like session that you have in the past. So all these kind of memories compound. And you would also have what you as a user can ask Anton to remember. So specific rules, specific definitions. So in that way, on next questions or further iterations, Anton remembers and gets smarter every session. And this is kind of a really key component to this agentic architecture because the main thing is that at the beginning, you might start asking questions. You might have to have help Anton get to the right answer, or you might correct them in some ways, right? Like maybe, hey, no, like an active user is two more unlockings per week. But once he starts learning this and over the different sessions in the future, then absolutely it gets faster, it gets easier, and now also it becomes like more of like a train companion. The more he knows about you, the more he knows about your data, and the more he knows about the query, the different types of data. So one of the coolest things about Anton is the slash connect command. And one of the things coming into like our MindsDB era is that, of course, we are all about connecting to data. We're all about answering data, answers from your data. So, of course, with previous iterations, you can connect to a different data source. But now Anton can connect to pretty much any data source that exists out there. We have once you type in dash connect, we have two main ways to connect to data. One is you can use our most popular like data connections that will just guide you through the steps. But if your data source is not on this list, you can just ask him through custom data source, and you can connect anything via API or SQL or MCP, and Anton will be able to connect to any data source that you have. Once you're connected to this data source, then you can start asking questions about that data source. And one of the coolest things that we've seen our internal team and users do is like that you can connect multiple data sources. So you can connect, for example, a HubSpot where you're going to have your CRM and customer information, and you can connect perhaps like a MySQL where you have the orders, or you can connect um, another data source for that perspective, and then have Anton search for data and map these different three data sources to give you a comprehensive view of what you're looking for. So it's not only constrained to like a single data source, you can really connect it to multiple data sources and create really cool dashboards that hit multiple data sources at the exact same time. And one of the new features that just come in the last couple of weeks is slash publish. And this is really like a bit of the foundation to what we want Anton to be shared to in its sharing capabilities. We realize that a lot of users are really like at being able to get some really cool answers, really cool stuff. And once you're able to get this answer, you want to be able to share that workflow, or you want to share that dashboard to a user. So today, if you ask Anton to create a dashboard, and Martina will show us a little bit about this, you can use the slash publish command to be able to get to you and publish it in a public website that then you can just share widely through the internet or through other type of users. So really kind of cool thing that we're kind of work as we work a little bit more into like how to share deeper answers and reports around the slash publish command. So definitely do recommend that you go to Anton once you have an answer, ask him to make a dashboard and then publish it. All right, so I'm gonna end up with all this boring stuff of the presentation before Martina actually gets us to the real cool stuff on the demo. But just a quick reminder, like how to get started. Start, first of all, you can start with MDB.ai. So you go to MDB.ai, create an account, and you get all the different steps to get started with Anton. So MDB.ai-quick start. If you want to go straight, you can go straight to open source and do the CLI version of it, github.com/mindsdb-anton, and follow the commands there. Or you can download their apps. We have a Mac and Windows app that delivers Anton straight to um, your desktop. Definitely MDB.ai is the best way to get started because you're going to be able to get MDB.ai API key that you can then insert into Anton, and you get your first month for free, which includes more than at least 5 million tokens to get going and get started with Anton. So go for it, test it out, get 5 million tokens, and test Anton for free. All right. Um, so before we dump down, like the last closing thing, and I always forget this slide, but I think it's really cool. In the end, we think that the answer was always there, right? So we just needed the question, and we just never had anyone to ask it. And now Anton is able to give you that answer. All right, let's go to the good stuff. And Martina, hands to you to further demo.
All right, thank you, Alan. So I have a three-part demo for today, starting with how you can use Anton with MindsDB, actually. So most of you are familiar and have been using MindsDB already. Anton is our new product, and you can actually use Anton as a MindsDB assistant. So that's what I'm going to show you today. And besides that, we'll go through the connect flow and the creating and publishing artifacts like dashboards, slide decks, etc. With Anton. All right. You should be able to see my screen now. All right. So I've got a fresh MindsDB instance running within Docker desktop. I just installed it fresh here. So right now I'm opening my Anton app. So I'm using the app and the CLI is embedded within the app. In the app, you just have more features on the side, and this will be keep developing further. All right, so let me ask Anton, can you see my MindsDB instance at localhost 47334? So Anton is also running locally. The open source version of Anton can be installed locally. So right now it is starting the Scratchpad and just checking if it can connect to MindsDB. And it looks like yes, it figured out what version is there. So that's perfect. So now I'm going to tell Anton to create a knowledge base in MindsDB from this paper. And the paper I'm taking it's a recent research papers on how to leverage agentic AI for automation in science. Let's see how it does. So now this part can take like a minute or two because Anton is essentially going through the resources available online. I assume the available documentation of MindsDB as well to actually process this paper and create a knowledge base and then insert it. So looking at this, we can so that is the what's happening within the Scratchpad, and Scratchpad here is you can imagine it as an Jupyter notebook with cells running the code. So essentially what we expect here is that Anton will create a knowledge base within MindsDB. We'll be able to see it and use it within MindsDB as well. All right, so let's give it a few more seconds. So the way this MindsDB assistant works is you can actually use Anton to create objects within MindsDB, to use objects within MindsDB. And yeah, we feel like it's a pretty cool addition to what MindsDB can do. Instead of going through the documentation and trying to work it out yourself, you can have Anton do it for you. All right, so it's taking a bit of a longer route here. All right, so we have set the default models in MindsDB, so it has to actually discover them. All right, so that's in place. Well, I don't want to waste too much of time. I have it pre-recorded as well, so if it takes too long time, I'll fire up the pre-recorded version.
Yeah, go ahead. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes you get an immediate answer. Obviously, Anton is doing its thing. Yeah, you can go ahead and do the recording.
Yeah, I'll do that because few times today it's been working well, and during the demo it's kind of taking way too long. So let me actually stop this and go ahead
That's
and
what
fire up
always
this
happens.
demo. Yeah.
The demo gods.
Yeah, the demo gods are not on our side today, but that's okay. It's a good thing you had a recording, Martina. You came prepared.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let me play this. All right. So that's the fresh MindsDB instance. And let me move it a bit forward. So I'm asking here to actually see the MindsDB instance. All right, so now it's creating the, oops, all right, let me get back. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we are at the point where we are creating knowledge base within MindsDB. So I'll move it a little forward. Okay, so now I'm kind of trying to refresh the navigation tree in MindsDB to show you that that Anton has actually created a knowledge base here from the paper provided. And now it actually also gave the details of this knowledge base and provided a query that we can use within MindsDB to answer questions, to actually query the knowledge base. So here I'll change this to examples. So that's the keyword we'll be looking for. And it works. So as the next step, I am going to ask Anton to create a MindsDB agent that is connected to this knowledge base. So we can use that one to answer question. The example is little circular here that we are using agent to create an agent within MindsDB to answer questions. We could answer these questions with Anton as well, of course, but the point of this demo is actually to show you that Anton is able to create objects and use them within MindsDB. All right. So now you can see here that it created the agent too. All right, we have the new agent as well, and it provided or it will provide in a bit, the query to ask questions of MindsDB agents, which you're all familiar with. So we can ask how AI can automate science. All right, and here we go. So essentially, we've been able to use Anton to create objects within MindsDB that that are working there. And yeah, I think this is awesome that Anton is here like a MindsDB assistant. So now let's go through the flow, how we can connect data. So this flow is still a bit of a subject to change, but at the moment we have like this connect CLI command, and you can choose from, we have like predefined templates, which are essentially listing the required and optional parameters for the specific data source connection. And you can use those, or you can create a custom data source. So there is an interactive flow with Anton that we provide. So let's first connect the Postgres database. So that's using one of the predefined templates, and we are also fixing the way it is picking up these parameters here in the upcoming releases. So upon giving the credentials, it is testing connection, and then you can view it and edit it in the UI as well. So that's one, and then we can connect a custom data source. So here I'm creating a new one, and I'm choosing option 0 in this case, and it is asking me what's the name. So here I want to connect GitHub, and in natural language here, I need to explain how I connect to GitHub. So I'm providing the GitHub, I want to use the public GitHub API that needs owner and repo names. So Anton is right now creating this template. So it is learning from learning on the job kind of, and it created a template for GitHub and tested the connection. So that was relatively easy. It was public API, so no secrets. So now I can ask like how many open PRs and issues are there. So it will get in there and analyze the repository. So one way of connecting data is the secure method. So using the connect flow, we are actually passing all the sensitive values as environment variables to, as much as we can, avoid the LLMs seeing the sensitive values. And another way you can directly, like this is direct connection, that you can ask Anton to connect to your data source, providing credentials in the prompt itself. So Anton can do that as well. And we are actually working, adding another flow to actually save those credentials into the vault as well. All right, so lastly, we have, we can ask Anton to create different artifacts. Like here, I'm asking to create a presentation from the same paper that we used before. So I want to have a slide deck that I can present. So Anton is able to create that, also reports, dashboards, interactive dashboards as well. So Anton is creating essentially a file, HTML file, and storing it locally. And there is an option to publish those reports as well. So I'll show you that in the next step. Let me move it forward a bit. Right. Almost there. So yeah, so that's the good thing. Like Anton does not only answer the questions, but can actually do the work, create some dashboards, presentations, which you can then publish and share with your team. So right now you can see that it is stored locally in the Anton folder, and now we can use the publish command to publish it into the internet. So now I have the Anton link, it is published, and I can share it with others as well. So that's been the demo. I was hoping to make it live. Unfortunately, there were some hiccups. So I hope you liked it. I hope you will try out Anton with MindsDB and all other features and let us know your feedback. Thank you. Back to you, Chandra.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Martina. I don't see any questions in our... Oh, there we go. Here is a question. Can published dashboards be protected?
That is a great question. As of today, that's in a roadmap. So today, dashboards are public. So once you share that link, it could be accessible for anyone under the internet. So definitely take a bit of precaution about that. We're working a little bit more on a team session and actually being able to have them shared only with the specific people that you go. So keep an eye on look that one because that's coming soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that question. Next one is, can a team of people work together on a single thread?
So as of today, the answer is no to that one. We're still also working on sharing threads and capabilities for Anton. The main vision that what we have, and it's clearly what we can see on the feedback from this calls and other previous instances, like that people want to collaborate using Anton. So one feature that's coming really soon on the pipeline is to be able to share conversations and threads, so somebody else can continue it. So Anton has all the information regarding to be able to continue that thread on another Anton session by another user. So we're still early in our sharing capabilities, but definitely working towards them because as we can see, those are important.
Amazing. And next question is, what LLMs does Anton support?
So Anton is LLM agnostic. So you can put in you can work with OpenAI, you can work with Anthropic, or you can bring any OpenAI compatible endpoint as long for an LLM that you want to use. When you go in Anton setup, and you go to the LLM, you're going to be able to go into those characteristics. One of the cool things that we do if you use an MDB.ai API account is that when you use when you use MDB.ai account, all the LLM calls are handled through MDB.ai, and what that gives us is the opportunity to fork the different LLM calls depending on the type of call that we're doing. So, for example, for coding calls in Scratchpad, we use Haiku from Anthropic, and then for reasoning, we go to Opus or Sonnet. Primarily Sonnet lately, which we think is giving us really good results. So definitely worth checking out Anton with an MDB.ai account because it only makes it also cheaper, but also it's making it more efficient and faster.
Okay, amazing. Okay, another question is, should LLMs be agentic only, aka latest models from Anthropic, OpenAI, etc.?
There's always a benefit to using frontier models for agents, right? So definitely would encourage you to like you're gonna have better results if you use one less of the other frontier models. However, Anton can be used with other models from that perspective, but mileage may vary by the type of model that we do. My personal favorites right now are Sonnet 4.6 and Haiku 5.4 for coding. So definitely like I think those ones work really well with Anton.
Amazing. Okay, I think that is it for all of the questions. Uh, Thank you so much, Alejandro, for your presentation, and also Martina for your demonstration. Really appreciate it. Thank you to those who attended and are watching our live stream. If you want to check out Anton, please visit our docs. Download Anton. You can install it via our GitHub repository or download the desktop app, which is available both in Mac and Windows. Super excited to hear any feedback that you guys have. And in the words of our CEO, Jorge Torres, download Anton. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Have yourself a lovely one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.